Welcome to the 2022 Prevention Through Design workshop. Thanks for joining us in this third annual workshop on PtD. We hope that your participation in this workshop contributes to advancing the knowledge on PtD and the implementation on prevention through design. We really look forward to hosting you in this two-day workshop event. My name is Grau, and I'll be your host through the first day of this workshop. I'm an associate professor at the School of Sustainable Engineering and the Built Environment, and I am also the co-chair of this workshop together with Dr. Ed Gibson. In reality, this workshop falls under the NIOSH-funded 5-year PtD initiative. The initiative is motivated by the promise of the PtD to eventually reduce the exposure of construction workers to safety and health hazards, and hence minimize accidents, morbidity, and fatalities. The aims of the 5-year initiative are as follows. First, to drive the implementation of PtD at large industry organizations. Second, to advance knowledge about PtD. We will collect implementation guidelines, tools, and identify case studies and business case models for the effective demonstration of concepts and strategies. And finally, to promote the instruction of PtD in construction management and construction engineering programs at US colleges and universities and beyond. This PtD initiative would not be possible without the invaluable and expert contribution of our steering committee members, which we want to acknowledge and recognize. Our steering committee members volunteer their time and actively leverage their experience, knowledge, and contacts to design a premier PtD event that brings together world-class experts from industry, academia, and agencies. To each of one of them, our more sincere recognition. So, I have the pleasure of announcing the start of the 2022 Prevention Through Design workshop. In the following slides, I will briefly discuss the theme, the sponsor, the logistics of the workshop, and today's agenda. The topic of this annual workshop, of this year's annual workshop, is the PtD journey from what to how, in which we want to highlight innovative PtD implementation processes and techniques. Indeed, during these 2 days of the workshop, we will bring to you 19 PtD experts who will share their insights and experiences, which will be exemplified through advanced technologies, projects, and case studies too. In total, we are blessed with the sponsorship of 13 organizations that support this workshop. We want to thank each and every one of our sponsors, including NIOSH, who provides the funding for the workshop, the International System Safety Society, CPWR of the Center for Construction Research and Training, CSRA, the Construction Safety Research Alliance, the National Academy of Construction, Tollner Consulting, Panduit, Ireland, Mark Rushka Consulting, DPR Construction, and Mortenson. Thanks to all of them. The daily structure of each of the 2 days of the workshop is divided in 3 sessions. Each one of the sessions is followed by a networking break. And at the end of the day, we're going to host also a meet and greet, 3 meet and greet sessions for each one of the corresponding to each one of the keynote presentation themes. I will discuss this in depth a little bit later. The workshop is hosted through BFairs, the technology provider that supports the workshop. You will have the opportunity to discover the functions and resources available during the workshop, and you obviously have engaged with some of these features since you made it to this session. However, we want to make sure that everyone maximizes the opportunity of this workshop from the very beginning. So we have prepared you a short video that introduces the key spaces, the functions, and the resources that this virtual workshop offers, and that are listed in this slide. So we're going to watch the video.
This is the lobby. The lobby is the landing page into the 2022 Prevention Through Design workshop. From the lobby, we can access the auditorium by clicking on the auditorium sign. Inside the auditorium, we can access the agenda and live sessions by simply clicking on the screen. Let's do that. This leads into the agenda, which is separated into two different tabs corresponding to day 1 and day 2 of the workshop. In the agenda, for the sessions that have not yet started, we will see a countdown timer. However, when it is time for a session to go live, instead of the timer, we will find a Zoom link to the session. During the speaker sessions, attendance will be muted. However, attendees can communicate their questions to the moderator of the session through the Q&A function available in the Zoom webinar. After each session, a networking break follows. The networking function can be accessed through the top bar. Through the general chat, attendees will be able to communicate with the rest of the attendees in the workshop. Let's go back to the agenda. At the end of the day, and in order to promote the interaction between attendees and speakers, we will be hosting 3 concurrent meet and greet Zoom events that correspond to each one of the 3 speaker sessions. At the time of the meet and greet, a Zoom link will be available. During the meet and greet, attendees will be able to speak with keynote speakers and moderators. Let's go back to the lobby. From the lobby, we can also access the exhibit hall. At the hall, booths from the workshop sponsors are available. Within each booth, documents and videos can be available and can be added to the swag bag of the attendee. For example, we may choose to add to our swag bag these 2 videos and this document. The swag bag can be accessed through the top bar. From the swag bag, we will be able to play videos, view documents, remove resources, or email them to the attendee's email account used to register for the workshop. Let's go back to the lobby. Last but not least, for any technical issues, please refer to the information desk. In order to get live assistance with technical issues through a dedicated chat function, please click on this sign. That's the end of our tour. Thank you.
As part of this workshop, we will be offering the opportunity for live participants to gain continuing education units or CEUs. CEUs will be awarded after the workshop based on the completion of Zoom polls during the live sessions of the workshop. So there will be 3 polls for each of the 6 sessions of the workshop. The polls will not be announced and will be available for 30 seconds. So a tip, if you are willing to gain these continuing education units, please consider actively engaging with the workshop, since this is likely to maximize the response to polls and thus the number of CEUs that you will be awarded. The attendees that are not interested in CEU do not need to respond to the polls during the session. After the workshop, we will get in contact with those that respond to the polls via email in order to award CEUs. So, ahead of the first session and ahead of any poll, we're going to run a short poll now and a practice poll so that you can see and practice, you can see how the poll actually shows in your screen and how you need to fill it. So let's do that. At this point, you should be seeing a poll on your screen that is asking, will CUs be awarded during the session? And you can choose your answer. So that's a sample poll. All right, after the workshop, the sessions are being recorded, and the recorded sessions are going to be available on the platform BeFairs until June 24th, 2022. So for 30 days. A participant will be able to request the CUs via email, but we will automatically send those CUs to those that have actually filled the poll. So the agenda for the day, we're going to have 3 sessions. The first session is going to be on data supporting prevention through design. After the first session, we'll run a 15-minute networking break. The second session is on wearables and exoskeletons in prevention through design. It contains, in this case, 3 presentations, and we'll also have a 15-minute networking break after the sessions and the question and answers. The third session is on building information modeling and prevention through design. It contains a single presentation, and we'll run also a networking break, in this case of 10 minutes after the third and final session. However, that's not the end of the day. After the third session, we'll run a meet and greet with 3 Zoom events that are dedicated to each one of the sessions in the meeting. As a difference to the presentations, during the meet and greet, the attendees will be unmuted so that they can, we'll ask the attendees to actually mute themselves, but they can unmute themselves in order to make questions directly to the presenters or to the moderators. The attendees can change the room during the meet and greet time. And so in order to interact with the presenters at each one and the experts at each one of the sessions and for each one of the 3 different topics today.